Hi, I'm your host Vasco Duarte. Welcome to the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, where we share tips and tricks from Scrum Masters around the world. Every day, we bring you inspiring answers to important questions that all Scrum Masters face day after day. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Success Thursday here on the podcast. This week with us, we have Chris Garvey. Hey, Chris, welcome back.
Hello. Yeah, thank you.
So, Chris, Success Thursday, of course, starts with your favorite retrospective format. So share that with us and why you think it's so good.
Sure. I would have to say it's one of the standard ones, and you can do the hot air balloon or the speedboat. I like the speedboat. Yeah, I just love the visual nature of it, and people can get it. You got anchors, and you got the motor. What's pushing us forward? What's holding us back? And I've got the standard laminated print that I use in terms of, like, I love getting people to, at the start of it, close their eyes, visualize what's that best day of being a part of this team. What would that look like for you? What would that feel like for you? That's a speedboat going at however many miles an hour. And then, okay, so let's land in this retro and having that visual, that departure point of the speedboat and the anchors.
Absolutely. I also love metaphor-based retrospective formats. I find that it helps people to get out of the details and sometimes the complexity of the day-to-day, and to step up a little bit and kind of look at the work that they are doing from a different perspective. I find that distance that it gives us can be quite productive and creative for the team. But Chris, of course, on Thursdays, we talk about success as well. And we want to focus on that and what success means for you. So tell us, what does success mean for you as a Scrum Master and a coach?
Sure, I love that question. So Simon Sinek, he's the Start With Why guy. He tells a story of, he was staying at a hotel in Las Vegas, and his barista, the barista was fantastic. His name was Noah. And he asked Noah, he was making his coffee, and he asked Noah, how's it working here? And Noah responded with so much passion, saying, I love my job. And he works at this other hotel, does the same job, exactly the same content, similar like patrons, but the environment was completely different, and he hates his job there. And it was so hectic and I realized then my whole passion is to create environments where people can thrive. That moment where Noah said, I love my job. If I could be a part of creating spaces where people can say that, I would be the happiest person in the world. I love being able to say that for myself and for others. And so for me, the word that comes up, if you're talking about what does success look like, it's quite a metaphorical term, just thinking about it, but it's trust. It's trust in your team members. It's trust in yourself that you've got what it takes. And it's not to say that there aren't obviously challenges and ups and downs like that. That goes without saying. But when a team feels that identity as part of a team, they trust their team members, they trust their management, that they've got the best intentions for them, and they have that sense of safety that they can show up and thrive, man, that is my jam. And especially when the delivery element can get off the table, when you build that trust and predictability that you can deliver, and also when you stop talking about agile, because it's all like agile. It's not about agile. It's about a high-performing team and delivering. And it's a weird. I wish you could tell what the key ingredients are. But you can feel it when when that switch goes into trust. There's a team I'm currently coaching where they've somehow in the last month or so, that switch has switched. And even though they're dealing with possibly some of the hardest things, there is the safety and connection and trust that they have and fun that they have with each other that just changes the nature of everything. It changes the nature of the hard conversations. It changes the nature of the work. That for me, I just love in the Agile Manifesto, that the first value, individuals, create environments where people can thrive and collaborate. And that's the source of the river, and almost the rest.
So we talked about a few signs we might be looking at, like, for example, do the team members trust each other? Do they trust their leaders? Do they feel they can show up and thrive? And you can hear that in the conversations. Are we still stressing out about delivery? Like, are we focusing on the delivery instead of performing as a team? Like, those are all signs that we could look at. What are some of the other signs you are looking at on a regular basis to evaluate your own success as a coach?
One that comes up for me is courage, in terms of I can see team members are giving permission to show up more and more, ask the things that they don't usually, or push back and say, no, listen, that's not possible, or no, we're not taking that into the sprint. Or those are the golden moments that I think, again, talking to that space for teams to grow into, to become self-organizing and self-managing. And when they take those moments to push that boundary, to say, no, I will take that space and take ownership of defining how we're going to do this, and how us as a team will approach it. And just the courage. It takes so much courage sometimes to speak up in a pressure moment, and a lot of especially in technical teams, we have a lot of introverts who struggle to speak up. So that for me is a key indicator. And I just love when someone in the team. And my whole goal, I've got like a collection of dad jokes, a mile long. I just love them because they're ridiculous, but they've got to be really good. But they just break the ice, but in such a good way. And that's my whole intention. I don't mind also almost intentionally sometimes look stupid or ask the dumb questions, so that I create that safety in the room. That I'll be the dumbest, I don't mind, but you just bring that bar down so we can have the real conversation, so people can sharp a whole lot more. And I love when someone pulls me aside and says, hey, what do you think about this? Or do you think I could challenge like this? Or I could, those moments where they're seeing I'm a safe person for them, and I can be a stepping stone for them to voice more in a more open forum. I love those moments.
Yeah, absolutely. Creating safety in the room is such an important skill to develop for us. And if we can't, then of course it's hard for team members to step in and as you said, be themselves, right? Like they take the courage to take ownership. Very important things to look at, to reflect on, to maybe even take on as part of our weekly reflection. Thank you for sharing that, Chris.
All good.
Part of a successful Scrum Master job is to help the product owner. Tomorrow we explore that critical role in Scrum, the product owner role. Tune in to learn about product owner anti-patterns, what you can do to help the product owner, and a real-life example of what a great product owner is and what made it so. Tomorrow on our Friday Product Owner episode. See you tomorrow. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.